In life, we encounter people every day, all of whom have stories to share. We rarely take the time to ask people their personal stories, many of which will touch, move, and inspire us in some way. Matt has a passion for making authentic connections and learning about people from all walks of life. He has lived a life of giving back to the community and making a difference in people's lives. Are you ready to meet fascinating people and hear some inspiring stories? The Matt Hilton Show will introduce you to a world of possibilities you never knew existed. Sit back, be present, and enjoy. Here's your host, Matt Hilton.
Hey everyone, Matt Hilton here, the host of the Matt Hilton Show. Thanks for tuning in today. Today's episode is part 2 of Clyde Joseph's story. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned for a word from our sponsor.
With almost 20 years of real estate experience in the North Texas area, the professional realtors at Hilton Realty Advisors have helped over 500 clients with their housing needs. Hilton Realty Advisors covers all areas of real estate: buying, selling, building, investing, and renting. We deliver the keys to homeownership to all through integrity, love, and joy. Call us today for all of your real estate needs.
So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about who you are as a person, right? So you grew up in Louisiana, and you recently moved to Texas, right? How long ago was that?
6 years ago.
About 6 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so was there a person in your life that you would say was the most influential person, and who was that?
Influential person. I'll probably say there's two people, both my parents, right?
Okay.
My dad, because of his hard work, and I watched how much he put into his craft and into his career, like on a day in, basis, very disciplined in that area of his life, right? And I get that from him. And it helps me in my career, just watching him like grow up as a kid and as a young man, young adult, and just watching how much he poured into that, And then also my mom, like very compassionate, caring, strong will, loving, just a resiliency, just a super mom pretty much.
Yeah.
Like those two would probably be the people that influence me and I look up to the most.
You have a special relationship with your mama, don't you?
Yeah.
You said dad was hardworking, and then I heard like 8 different adjectives for your mom.
Yes, sir. But just different. I just got different things from both parents, right?
Sure. Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
So, any siblings?
I have a younger sister.
Younger sister.
Yeah, younger sister and a niece.
Okay. And any special memories? Is there a memory that sticks out in your mind of you and your sister? How many years difference?
There's a 5-year difference.
Okay.
5-year difference. Yeah, we're very close growing up. Just talk on the phone every day, do text message, Instagram, or we FaceTime, because she has a daughter now, so I FaceTime my niece probably 3 to 4 nights a week. We're just very close, very close upbringing. I was very protective of her growing up, just playing that big brother role for my younger sister. Probably the best, sister I can ask for. Hardworking, great parent, very disciplined also, God-fearing woman.
Yeah. Is there a memory that you have growing up with her
memory.
that is a fun memory, a happy memory?
We had multiple fun memories, family vacations, probably dressing up as our favorite superhero as kids and, just pretending to be, Superman or Batman and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just
typical things that kids do at that age.
Okay. And you said vacation, so you'd like to travel?
Yeah. 2 months ago, I went to San Diego for my birthday. Took surfing lessons for the first time, so got that scratched off the bucket list.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
How was that?
It was great, man. Hard, but just
hard?
Very hard.
Okay.
Took like 9 or 10 tries before I was able just to stand on the board for like a few seconds, but definitely would do it again.
Okay. So what did you learn from that experience?
From that experience, don't give up, patience. I learned how, much it takes a toll on your physical, like just being in shape, right? Because it's not easy. You have to push yourself off the board and time it and get in this deep squat position. So it was very challenging for myself. I'm in great shape, phenomenal shape, but doing that like new activity, it was just different, because you're surfing on water that is not constant. it's forever changing. It's changing, the waves change, and just the whole motion of the water changes. So you have to like have a connection kind of with your board, but then also with the water as it like goes in different directions, and how the tides might be a little higher on this wave, but then a little lower on this wave. And also balance plays a huge part in that too.
So you need to have a strong core.
Strong core, proprioception, be aware of your surroundings, and just pretty much strong everything, ankles, knees, hips, but definitely strong core, I would say.
Yeah.
But I definitely enjoyed it. I would definitely do it again in the future.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Did you get injured, or were you?
I took this nasty spill close to the shore. I landed on the back of my neck, but it's fine now. In the moment, and a few days afterward, it hurted a little bit, but it's fine now. But no major injuries.
No major injuries.
No.
You survived.
I
You're here
survived.
today.
I survived. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I haven't been surfing before. Probably won't.
Okay.
'Cause, I don't know how to swim.
Okay, you don't know how to swim.
So that's one of my things that a lot of people don't know about me is I don't know how to swim. So I do underwater. Like I've been scuba diving and all sorts of stuff. But as far as treading water and like doggy paddling,
I'm not the best treader. I can swim, but I'm not the best treader. And I actually have a fear of like large bodies of water. So that was also a good thing that I did go surfing. Kind of like that fear is not there anymore, really.
So where's that fear come from?
I have no idea. I can swim in the pool all day, but just being out in a lake or river just kind of intimidating a little bit. Yeah. So that's why it was also important that I took those surf lessons in San Diego.
And that was for your birthday?
Yes, sir.
All right. So do you tend to do stuff like that? Do you go and do something on your birthday that checks it off the bucket list, or is this the first time you've done that?
That's the first time, right? But I have been on paragliding before in South America, so that also checked it off the bucket list.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that in the recent past?
That was like 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yes, sir.
What was that like?
Oh
Tell me about that
intense,
experience.
Right? So you climb this mountain, or you hike this mountain, get up there, you sign a waiver, then the guy, he explains to you exactly like what to do once you like get up there, right? It's like very simple instructions. You're gonna run off this mountain, and then you're gonna just sit in this like this harness. And he's like the captain, so he's attached to my back, so he's actually like guiding us through the air, right? So after the instructions are explained to you, there's like no prep time to really think about it. It's like, okay, you do this, go. Like you mean now? Like, all right, cool. So you just go automatically, you run up the mountain, and that was nerve-wracking. But once you get up there, it's like beautiful. It's definitely like relaxing. You're just gliding through the air, it's beautiful. But the initial phase of that, like, it's pretty nerve-wracking, to say the least.
So is there anything with that, with your body motion, like with the air? Because I'm sure the air changes too. Like, does that require any type of?
The air changes too. It doesn't really, because he's controlling everything. Okay. My only concern was like I'm a big guy, right? So I'm like heavy compared to him, and he's maybe 60 pounds lighter than me. So I'm kind of concerned about that just a little bit. But other than that, like, no, the winds were very calm. But like I said, he glided us through the air, and very cool experience. I would definitely do it again.
You do that again?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you have done, like an experience that you would never do again?
Something that I would never do again. I can't really say so. No, there's no experience I've done that I would never do again.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
So you're open to trying new things,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like this podcast today.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I asked him before if he had been on a podcast, and he was like, no, I've been on some panels and did this and that, but never on a podcast like this. So
no,
there
sir.
we go. So when you were talking about the surfing, go back to that for just a second. It kind of made me think about when you were talking about getting your body, used to different movements, right? And focusing on different muscles and things of that nature. I'm sure that played a part in what you had to do out there on that board, right? To push yourself up and, pay attention to the waves and the water. Like, was that in your mind the entire time of focusing on the different muscle parts, or were you just focusing on getting up on that board?
Not necessarily the different muscle parts, but after like initially pushing yourself up off the board, it's like finding like that center, right? Because once you push yourself up, you have 1 foot in the back, 1 foot in the front. And if you sway too much to the left side, you're definitely going to fall over. You go to the front, you're going to fall over. So just finding that center balance within the board, and then hopefully just going along with the rhythm of the water. So I wasn't really too much concerned about any, besides my ankles, of course, but like any other joints, like no, but just like finding like that center. And also remaining calm, the biggest thing, controlling your breath.
Okay, because I've been snow skiing before, and I know that before I go snow skiing, there are certain exercises that I need to do to build up certain muscles, right? Did you do any training, specialized training before going?
I did some balance routines within my own workouts, but other than that, just like mobility training, like training my ankles, knees, hips. I guess that prepped me. That's why I did fairly well, I believe, because of the fact that I have pretty good like mobility and good like movement overall. So that definitely played a part why I did fairly well with the surfing. Not great, but just like fairly well with the surfing.
Yeah. Besides being out in a large body of water, is there anything else that you are fearful of?
It used to be tight spaces and claustrophobic, right? Okay. But since I started doing jiu-jitsu 2.5 years ago, that kind of went away. It had to go away.
It had to.
Because you're in, jiu-jitsu is a lot of grappling and close contact with your opponent or training partner. So you feel that person's pressure and weight on you constantly. So being in like that like stressful environment, like continuously, actually helped me overcome that fear of being like claustrophobic.
Okay. Have you done any competitions with, like, have you advanced any certain competitions throughout?
Not yet. I did receive my blue belt, I think the beginning of this year, or in December. So I just got promoted to my blue belt in jiu-jitsu, but I'm looking at competing at some point this year. Like in a local competition, local tournament.
If memory serves me correctly, we had a guest early on in the show's history where he is a world champion in jiu-jitsu.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I may need to connect the two.
Yeah, please do.
So he's a great guy. He's I think he's given it up because he's had a couple of surgeries, a back surgery and a shoulder surgery, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's gotten to a point where he's had to hang that up, and now he's doing coaching.
Okay.
He's coaching jiu-jitsu. So yeah, he's a really good friend of mine.
Yeah, it can be very strenuous on the body.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So is there anything that you have done in the past that you wouldn't do again? If you had to do it over again, that you would be like, you know what, I would do that a little differently.
Anything I've done in the past I would not do again. Right now at this moment, I would have to say no.
Okay.
I think even like with some of the mistakes I made, like minor mistakes I made in life, it just all played a part into the person I am today and this path I'm on right now. So I don't think I would change anything because it all led me to this moment, right where I'm at right now currently in my life. So I have to say no, like no regrets.
So when you went through those bad times or you made those mistakes, was there self-talk that you told yourself of, I've just got to get through this? Or at the time, were you just thinking, why is this happening? Like, tell me what was going on through some of those times.
I had those moments like, going through the surgery, like, why is this happening to me right now, right? Like, okay, what's going to happen? Will I ever be 100% again? But I'm a firm believer in Christ, and I have those self-talks. I also pray a lot, and, everything happens in your life that, it's not always, rainbows and sunshine. You're going to have these storms that, come along in your life. You just have to withstand it. Go through the storm, and it won't last forever. So just self-talk and definitely prayer just to get me through like tough times and different, obstacles that might come along, because it's going to always happen, right? You can't live in a world to where you won't have any obstacle or any storms going to come your way. But you can like build up your resiliency and, have faith and just toughen it out. And you can also have your moments. I had my moments where I cried or, felt slightly depressed over certain, like the surgery, right? Just why is it happening to me? I can't work out anymore. Will I ever be 100%? Can I go back to being the person I was before, like healthy and, picking up weights and just doing these, surfing or athletic things, like going on these different adventures. So that definitely like crossed my mind a lot, but I just didn't let it like, eat at me. Just kept my faith strong, prayed to God, did the best I could in that situation with what I was given.
And where does that inner strength come from?
My mom.
Your mom?
Upbringing, yeah.
Okay.
Upbringing.
Okay. And where does she get that from?
Probably her mom. Her mom just read the Bible every day, went to church, Bible study every week. So I grew up like, going to church every Sunday, then also Bible study as a kid. And my dad he's also a believer. Mm-hmm. So that faith and it came from, their parents, and then my parents is instilled in myself and my sister. And that's just something I always kept with me wherever I go.
Knowing what you know now, is there anything that you would tell a 13-year-old Clyde?
13-year-old Clyde. Have big goals, right? Be curious. Be curious about life, ambitious. Never give up. Don't look at hard times as like why me? Like why is this happening to me? Just learn how to go through certain things that do happen in your life that are unwanted. And just be curious about learning, from anyone, anybody, any curriculum, like whatever you want to invest your time in, just always stay curious.
Tell me more about that.
Staying curious?
About staying curious. Yeah, what does that mean to you?
Staying curious, just always asking questions, because I'm always looking for ways to improve, right? Whether it's in my craft or in my relationship with my girlfriend or just with friends in general, right? I'm always looking to progress and just be the best version of myself that I can possibly be, right? So just staying like curious, asking questions that you need to know the answer to, or you might just need some guidance on something, or you just interested in the topic, whether it's art or whether it's like why you're reading this book. What do you find fascinating? What did you learn from this book?
Right.
Just learn about different things in life. I don't want to be boggled down just to like one dimension here, just like training. Like I want to just be curious about just different things in life,
Yeah.
Whether it's like foods or art or travel, or like why do you do what you do? What drove you to this point? I'm interested in things like that. I'm very curious, like what drives like the greats, right? Like where do they find that motivation to keep going and just to be the best version of themselves, And also like where are the shortcomings? And how did they, evolve from that?
Yeah, and I think curiosity too, and thank you for sharing all that. Those are great words. I think curiosity goes into hearing people's stories too, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I'm doing this show, is to ask questions, hear people's stories, and find out their big why, find out who they are as a person, find out what they may have experienced in life that they can share with somebody who may be going through something similarly, and that they can help them through that. They may not know that they've helped them, but hopefully someone who's tuning in will be able to be motivated or know that there is light at the end of that dark tunnel that they may be in, right?
Right.
So as far as being in curiosity with you, what is your big why? I know you said earlier what the mission is of your company. What drives you? What is it that you hope to accomplish?
What drives me, I want to be able to not just give back to my clientele. I want to branch out and give back to people that don't really have like access to education or just different services, right? So I want to be a pillar in the community that can help educate people that don't have, the necessary means to, have access to what I study, or maybe a trainer, or just different things in life, right? So I just want to be a pillar to where I can help people and just spread like, knowledge, love, and like you said, motivation, and hopefully inspire others. Right. So my big purpose is definitely to give back through my skill set and my craft. Now, if you get everything else that comes with me, like the motivation, the inspiration, and the love and the care, which I always do. I care about all my clients and friends and people that I encounter with every day. Then that's a blessing as well.
Yeah. Do you have everything that you need to accomplish that big why at the moment?
At the moment, I don't want to say no, because if I say no, I'm going to put like a time frame on it. It's like, you have to take that step. I think do it. I definitely have the education. I feel as though, not saying I'm going to stop continuing to get educated, right? But I don't want to say no. So I'm going to say, yes, I have. The two is just me taking that step. The same way I took the step to move to Dallas 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's like taking that step pretty much into the unknown, but just understanding that your why is strong enough to get you through that. So I'll say yes.
And I know you got it. Yeah, it's out there. I'm glad to hear you say yes. What would it take to get you to take that next step? What is that next step?
I think that next step is, for me, being more present on like social media platforms, like YouTube, and doing more this podcast. Just doing more speaking engagements and putting myself out there. Because people don't know what they don't see or heard of, right? If I'm just in a gym setting 24/7, I could be doing great, changing 13 clients' lives, right? But if I want to aim to change or add value to others' lives, I have to put myself out there doing different things that I normally probably wouldn't do.
Yep. You could have the secret equation, right? Habits, consistency equals longevity, right? You could have that secret equation, sharing it with your clients that you currently have and not sharing it with everybody else.
Exactly. So
we don't want to do that anymore,
No,
right?
I don't want to do that. No, don't want to do that.
Well, if there's anything that we can do to help you, know that we're here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I believe that I'm a great connector and networker. So anything that I can do to help you along the way, just let me know.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. So there are 3 words that describe you. What 3 words would you say best describe you?
3 words to describe me. Let's say loyal, discipline, and 3rd word, I don't know, fun. I can be fun at times, Okay. When I'm not in the whole work environment.
Right.
But definitely discipline, loyalty, and I'll probably just say a fun guy.
Loyal. What does that mean to you?
Trust. You can, if you want to tell me something that you don't want to tell others, you can trust me with that information. I always be there for someone that I care about and love, right? So that loyalty, that's something big, for me in personal life and business, and just being there for someone, and they realize that they have comfort in you and trust in you, that no matter what happens, you're going to always be there for them.
Yeah.
In any capacity,
Yeah. And today was our first time to meet, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like you were a very kind person.
I get that.
So, yeah. And I want you to know that I feel that from your soul, your spirit, right? And kindness is one of those things that can be shared with everyone.
Yeah.
Right? And I just want you to know that I see that in you, and I encourage you to use that and share that, and as much as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. We need more kindness in this world.
We do.
Yes,
That's for sure.
So I am a chief happiness officer of a nonprofit called Who Do You Know? And we focus on just helping people imagine and dream again, and granting those dreams by making connections for anybody through any walk of life. And we focus on 3 different pillars. We focus on a person you want to meet, a place you want to go, and an experience you want to have. So I'm going to ask you those 3 questions. Okay. There may be someone who's tuning in today that may be able to make a connection to make that happen. So a person you want to meet that is living, who would that be and why?
A person that I want to meet that's living, and why? For someone that's living and why? Man, it's a tough one. I could tell you the past, but person that's living. Let's see. Probably the author of The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, I believe, author of The Alchemist.
Okay.
I read a few of his books, and he asks why, just to ask him questions on like what got you on a path to create like this story, you know, within The Alchemist, about this young boy following his dream and having to go through like different obstacles and just always being a believer and just being curious about life, right? So definitely him, for sure. 'Cause I feel like I can connect with a lot of the stuff that he's written in the past.
I may have to read that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the manuscripts of Accra. That's a really good book too that he's written.
Okay. Great.
I like philosophy and like stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said again, being curious.
Right. Being
and
curious.
pursuing a dream. So
Right.
It's interesting. So an experience you want to have?
Experience I want to have would probably be, let's see, probably going to Egypt, visiting the pyramids.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I have a minor in history. I'm a like big history buff. So just being able to see what man created like hundreds of years ago, right? So probably Egypt for sure. I would definitely want that, like that adventure and experience.
So you made another question come up before we get to this last one on the nonprofit. Being a history minor, right, or having a minor in history, is there an era that you feel most connected to? Like, is there a time period or an event or something that happened in history that you're like, wow, I wish maybe we could have experienced that?
Probably the medieval times.
Medieval times?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big, I like the knights, the crusaders, like you said, loyalty, right? I like just that era of how loyal those guys were and like brave and courageous, right? And how they had like structure like in their lives, you know, structure, discipline. I probably want to live through those and experience those times.
Okay. Great.
Definitely.
And a place you want to go that you haven't been yet?
Place I want to go that I haven't been yet, besides experiencing the pyramids in Egypt, I would probably say China. Just visiting the Great Wall of China.
Okay.
Once again, history, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to the Great Wall. Went to Hong Kong once and then took a train over to Guangzhou.
Okay.
And went to all the markets that were there.
Yeah.
And it was crazy to see all these pearl markets and sunglass markets and phone case markets. It was crazy. I didn't know there were so many of those that could exist in one place.
Yeah,
So,
I would definitely take a trip there.
yeah, fantastic. Well, it was a pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you. And I want to wrap it up with one final question. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you hope that I would have?
Anything you didn't ask me, I hope I will. Probably one question would be like the techniques that I use with clients.
Okay.
When it comes to mobility.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are those techniques? What would you like to share?
So when it comes to training clients and also myself, I start with internal first before like external. So after going through an assessment with a new client, right, I look at their strengths and like areas of opportunity to improve in. Okay, so once I see where their strengths are, well, I know I can challenge them in these areas externally, like lifting weights and just doing different movements, right? And internally, if they don't have the necessary prerequisites for external work, well, therefore, I have to use different mobility strategies and techniques to help them to gain more range of motion actively, and then also to build more quality tissue. Therefore, they have more workspace within their body to go lift certain weights, whether it's a deadlift or squat or bench press. So just pretty much building the human body inside out, taking that approach.
From the inside out.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fantastic.
That's it, man.
That's it.
Hit it
All right. Well, thanks again for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. And thank you all for tuning in. And make sure you tune in next week as we have another guest who is a fascinating person with an inspiring story. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that is the handle, The Matt Hilton Show. Thank you and have a great day.
If you'd like to contact Matt or know a fascinating person with an inspiring story that would make a great guest, reach out to the show at themattHiltonshow@gmail.com.